To MTV Daily, as we told you at the top of the show, we've got some new NBC News Wall Street Journal Marist battleground state poll numbers to share with you. Two critical states, Nevada and New Hampshire. They may be small in electoral numbers, but they matter a lot. Here's a quick look again at the top of the ticket in New Hampshire, where Hillary Clinton has opened up a lead of 9 points over Trump among likely voters, 45% to Trump's 36. By the way, Gary Johnson sitting at 10, Jill Stein at 4. One of the few states where the two third-party candidates are not cratering as much as they are in other places. Just last month, by the way, Hillary Clinton led in New Hampshire just by 2 points, so the debate is having a big impact in New Hampshire. Down the ballot, it's a much tighter race between the incumbent Republican Kelly Ayotte and the Democratic governor Maggie Hassan. Ayotte is now leading only by an insignificant 1-point margin. Believe it or not, she led by nearly double digits the last time we were in. So clearly, this Trump effect has had an impact on her numbers. Now let's move to Nevada. Clinton and Trump tied in that state, both of them sitting at 43% in a three-way race. Last month, they were only 1 point apart. Nothing's moved here. In the Senate race, however, there is a wider gap in favor of the Republican, Joe Heck, in the race to fill retiring Senator Harry Reid's seat in Nevada. We have Heck with a 7-point advantage over the Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto, 49-42. We know some folks believe that number is larger in our poll than it is in others. But let's check in with some people who are experts in their own states on this. We got John Ralston, of course, is the man in Nevada politics these days. KTNV political analyst, NBC News contributor. And his counterpart in New Hampshire, a good pal and source of mine, Dante Scala, professor of political science at the University of New Hampshire. They have both studied our poll and will be blunt and honest about what they think. John, let me start with you because the Nevada numbers may surprise, particularly down the ballot in the Senate. The most interesting numbers inside are how Hillary Clinton is overperforming the Democratic candidate for Senate among Hispanic voters, and yet she has the opportunity of becoming the first Hispanic woman ever to be in the U.S. Senate. What's going on?
Well, that has been fairly consistent, Chuck, that Catherine Cortez Masto, who was a two-term attorney general but didn't really do a lot to promote herself, had to reintroduce herself to voters, has taken a long time, I think, to consolidate that base. There is some evidence in the early voting numbers, we've had 4 days already, Chuck, that the Democrats are getting that base out and they're getting those inveterate voters out. They have about a 30,000 ballot statewide lead. It looks a lot like 2012. But let me just say what I think the key is in Nevada to both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and Catherine Cortez Masto and Joe Heck, and that is how big the Hispanic vote is. 15% in 2008, 18% in 2012, may get to 20%, and where those Hispanics are going. Now, your poll, you want me to be blunt and honest, yeah. I'll do my best. Your poll shows Donald Trump with almost 40% of the Latino vote. If that's happening here or anywhere else, we're going to be at Donald Trump's inauguration. I'm not sure that's happening at all.
By the way, our pollster said our Hispanic sample probably was a little too male. I mean, look, we're not going to overweight things. The result is the result. But it was more heavily male than other Hispanic samples in Nevada, and that may be one explanation of why Trump appears to be overperforming in our poll.
I guess what I'd say real quickly, Chuck, is that Joe Heck is also overperforming. He's ahead by 1 point over the woman, as you pointed out, who could be the first Latina ever elected to the U.S. Senate. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But listen, polling to me doesn't mean as much in Nevada anymore, as much as when you have almost a third of the data in for early voting, and it looks very much like 2012. The real hope for Joe Heck is, you remember in 2012, Chuck, Barack Obama won Nevada by almost 7 points. Hillary Clinton looks to be on that trajectory to me. But Dean Heller, the Republican senator, managed to buck that tide and win by about 1.5 points or so. That is what Joe Heck is counting on. But they're not acting like a campaign that is doing well. They're sending reinforcements to Washoe County, which is Reno, as you know, where Republicans traditionally do well. They're not doing well in the early vote. Mike Pence was there. Yep. You had Lindsey Graham and John McCain there. There's something going on in Washoe County, which is the swing county in Nevada.